Well, hello, all of you lovelies out there here in old little town of Bellingham, and in the world, and in the universe beyond. I would like to express my gratitude to your joy at my wonderful, colorful clothing that I have made. I have been called that wild, goofy guy dancing down the street many times, and that really warms up my heart. My sewing career began about 30 years ago when I was living on Capitol Hill in Seattle, Washington, 90 miles south of where I am sitting right now. I always wanted a large transparent plastic raincoat to go over the colorful clothing that I had. I loved to wear the costume clothing with flamboyant gay men back in that era. Nobody sold the kind of raincoat I wanted, so I decided to take the problem into my own hands and move forward. I walked into a sewing store and bought a Bernina sewing machine. And boy, the journey began like being baptized in fire. You have to understand that sewing clear vinyl is extremely difficult and error prone. Plastic sticks and it's very stiff. Let's see, I think I went through about 12 clear plastic shower curtains from Bed Bath and Beyond. And by the way, I cleaned them out. And I made about 6 raincoats before I came up with the first one that I would be willing to wear in public over my clothing. And by the way, as a footnote, no, I did not run around naked in that clear plastic raincoat, except for the World Naked Bike Ride and the Radical Fairy Gatherings way far deep in the forests of Oregon. Well, what's interesting was that there was a very mixed reaction when I was wearing those clear raincoats in the rain on Capitol Hill in Seattle. The women loved them. They complimented me and said they looked really nice and the job was wonderful. However, men, even including gay men, ignored them completely. Some reacted disdainfully at the raincoats. Well, I guess I would have to say, after all, men did not wear clear raincoats in that era. Men wore the dark and gray, boring raincoats. So that was the beginning. Mostly positive, but not uniformly positive. However, a wonderful surprise came to me when I started to make regular clothing. After my frustration with clear plastic, everything was very, very easy. I started churning out colorful shirts and pants on my own at a fairly good clip, and people loved them on Capitol Hill in Seattle. That was fine. I was quite happy. I was like a fairy flying around in a fairy kingdom. Well, Unfortunately, things changed when I moved to Boston to work for an internet company. And I brought all my sewing, my clothes, and everything to Arlington, Massachusetts. With most of the people, they liked them. When I wore my red and green homemade Christmas outfit on at a public TV station's fundraiser, I was working the phones. I was sitting in the phone bank, and we were on TV at WGBH in Boston. People loved it. They made pledges and they asked, where did that guy in the second row get his wonderful red and green outfit? Oh, it was fun. Everybody loved it. Then things came crashing down. I wore the same outfit to be an usher for the Boston Gay Men's Chorus. It was not the formal concert, it was a festive concert. And everything was fine, the people loved it, except for the house manager. He yelled at me in public, mind you, that was a very inappropriate outfit. And while he was yelling at me, he was looking at hardcore leather pornography in full public. So that was a huge blot in my career, but I get over it. Now, here in Bellingham, I wear this stuff all the time, and I started a new career, and that was dancing. The first major debut for my dancing were the concerts at Elizabeth Park. I was scared at first, but it didn't take long. I was thrashing all around in that area between the stage and the audience. There were many others dancing as well, but people reacted very positively to both my dancing and my clothing. I did what's called ecstatic dancing, where I'm dancing to the spirit of the music and totally ignoring any customs, traditions, or expectations. People loved it when I was dancing at those concerts. Then I branched out. I started to dance in the weight room of the YMCA between my sets. And when I did different weights, I would do 8 or 9 sets. I'll take a 5-minute intermission and dance all around the gym and the weight room. People loved it. Then I realized I walk and ride my bike to work. I decided to replace many of my bicycle rides with speed walking. Then I put music through my hearing aids using a Bluetooth adapter so I could dance while I'm walking from my home near Cornwall Park and the YMCA downtown or the Spark Museum downtown. And I will be dancing with my arms and skipping around and being really joyful and weird as I make my way from home to downtown. People would honk in appreciation and wave at me and say, hey Mark, hey Mark. And it was joyful as fun, and it turned out there was another benefit, and that was exercise and health. Yes, the benefits of the exercise and the joy were wonderful for myself, my body, and my personality. However, there was a new element that was very, very delicious. I sometimes danced everywhere, with and or without permission. An example was I went to a fundraising gala at the yacht club was a Martin Luther King Day celebration. It was billed as a dinner and a dance with a live band. I paid the $75 for the tickets to go in. It was a delicious buffet type dinner, but the important thing was I noticed in front of the live band there was a small dance floor, and the dance floor was empty. So after taking a couple of bites from my meal, I walked up to the dance floor, stepped on it, and started to do my ecstatic dancing, or freeform dancing, where I dance by allowing the spirit of the music to massage my brain, to drive my dancing and ignore any rules or customs or traditions. It was billed as a ballroom dance, but I'll tell you, I tore up that floor and flung it to the far side of our galaxy. And when I was through with that, I pirouetted the jumping jacks and danced throughout the tables, the people eating, and people loved it. And I skipped on up the ramp to the bar area, and people loved it. The reception was universally positive, and people liked the dancing and the wonderful clothing. And yet another example is a wonderful community food co-op. Saturday morning, I was shopping, and suddenly the PA system started to blast out rock music. So I pushed my cart aside and I started to dance. I was in the deli section, and boy, I tore that section apart, flung it around, and sent it off to the far side of the galaxy, and people loved it. I danced for a solid 15 minutes before they figured out how to turn the PA system off. Well, there you have it. If you see me dancing anywhere on the streets, in the weight room, or even the co-op with these beautiful shorts on, stop me, say hi, and if you want to dance with me, you're welcome to. And of course, I love you all from deep within my heart.